After watching this video, you've got 5 things that are going to help you run your Airbnb smoothly and remotely. What's up everyone and welcome to my channel, Noble is Global. My name is Noble, o si tú hablas español, me puedes llamar Noble. Vamos a hablar en español porque me da la gana. My friends, my family, and clients alike are always asking me, like, Noble, how are you able to run your Airbnb so smoothly even when you're out of the city, the state, the country? If you crave flexibility and freedom, you're gonna wanna stay tuned because these are 5 things I use to run my Airbnb business remotely. Ahí vamos. Let's go. All right, so starting out with number 1, you are gonna absolutely need a digital lock. A digital deadbolt seems like the obvious choice, but for a lot of folks, they're still stuck on lock boxes and keys because it's very analog and it's very simple. But I promise, installing the digital deadbolt is not a technological headache like most people assume. All you gotta do is install the lock in the door like you would a normal lock, and then you just have to download an app on your phone and you're able to set codes remotely from wherever you are. So when I'm abroad, for example, and I need to set a code for a guest that got, like I just got a booking, I'm able to go into the app and I'm able to set a code if I have Wi-Fi or if I have a cell signal. I can't tell you how convenient that makes this entire process. Not only for me, but for the guests, because guests don't want to be fiddling with lock boxes and keys in the middle of the night. It's so much easier when the keypad lights up and all they got to go is doop, 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 and then they're inside of the house. Also, if there are multiple guests, they can just share one code instead of having to keep track of one key. That could get lost at any time when they decide to go out or visit a family member, or God knows, just leave it somewhere else. Now, if you need recommendations for a digital lock, I'm going to include one in the description box below. I personally use the Schlage & Co., but there's lots of models that work. You're going to want this lock to be able to do 2 things in particular. The first one is you need to be able to program the code remotely. Okay, that means that if you have a Wi-Fi or cell signal on your phone, in that application, you should be able to program the code in real time and send it to your digital lock that is connected to the Wi-Fi in your home. I also highly recommend that you have a digital lock that has a physical keyhole, because if the power cuts out or something happens, you want to be able to access your home. So with that being said, as long as it has those 2 features, you are good to go. But really the prize here is being able to program the codes remotely, changing them at whim, and also being able to see who's accessing your house with which code. Those kinds of features are priceless. If you're enjoying this video, now's a great time to hit the subscribe button and give this video a like. Number 2, you're going to want a smart thermostat. The reason being, a lot of times in between guests, you want to make sure that you are saving money on the costs of heating or cooling your home. You don't want it running the entire time. So with a smart thermostat, with the touch of a button on your phone, you're going to be able to connect to your thermostat and lower or increase the temperature based on when your guests are coming. So for example, it's during the summertime. If I have a guest that's about to roll up tomorrow, I will wait till about maybe the last 2 hours before they arrive, because I know that's how long it takes to cool my house, before I turn on the smart thermostat. Otherwise, I'm just wasting energy. Moving on to number 3, you absolutely need to get ADT. I freaking love ADT. The reason why, I got peace of mind. And not only that, it decreases my insurance for the year. Just like as another side note for the security, personally, I don't really know anything in my house that someone could steal that I can't replace. I'm not saying I want people to steal, of course. But I mean, it's not like I have jewelry. It's not like I have prized possessions and things like that in the house that I can't replace. And on top of that, if you want to take my TV, you're going to have to dismount it first. That's a lot of work. If you're able to get it out of the house and my neighbors aren't able to catch you and the alarm doesn't go off, I mean, you can just have it. Eso es una broma. I digress. Security is about peace of mind, right? And so when my guests leave, what I do is, of course, I delete the code on the digital lock when they're done, but I also set the alarm. This way, there's no intruders. There's no one. I don't have to worry about anybody being in the house that's not supposed to be there. I have tampers on all of the windows, all of the doors. So I have extra added security and peace of mind that my house is safe in between guests. And I don't need to physically be there to make sure that that's happening. Plus that little ADT sign in the front of the house. It does a lot. Special tip though, make sure that the ADT is off before your guests in there, because I've had a couple of guests that have walked in and the alarm starts blaring even though they have the right code to get in the house. Which, I don't know why I'm laughing about it, because I have been really embarrassed. I'd be like, oh my gosh, the cleaners did that. That rarely happened, but it's happened like at least 2 or 3 times, and the guests are just like really scared, but they're also like really impressed that the house is secure. So yeah, just make sure you disable the alarm right before your guests arrive. Number 4, you're gonna need amazing, highly communicative cleaners. I've actually made 2 videos about this, so go ahead and check them out in my Airbnb 101 playlist. But basically, your Airbnb cleaners are gonna be co-managing your property with you. When you're not there, they're gonna be your eyes and ears. They need to be able to see what's going on with the property. They need to be able to inspect it, make sure there's no damages. And if there are, they need to be able to take visual evidence, documentation of any sort of damages so that you can submit a claim to Airbnb. Necesitas una persona que no solamente hace la limpieza, pero sabe muy bien cómo cuidar a la casa. Because let's be honest, this is a cash cow, not just for me, but for them too. The better shape that the house is in also equates to them getting repeated business from me. And bonus points if they're a handyman or have that kind of like additional add-on available. So for example, if a bulb goes out, they'll be like, hey, I got a bulb. Let me put it inside there for you. I'll charge you a little extra, but they'll get that done. Things like that. And number 5, last but not least, a lot of people overlook this. You need a top-notch smartphone. Okay, I know a lot of folks that are using, it has a touch screen. We're not trying to knock anybody's phone, but you're going to want a phone that has a good deal of memory and RAM, because at any time you're going to be opening up multiple applications from your Airbnb app that needs to be updated frequently, WhatsApp or text messages for communication with your Airbnb cleaners, and you're going to need a phone that can do it all. So if you're thinking about upgrading your phone to maybe like the Samsung Galaxy Note 20 Ultra or the 22 or the latest iPhone, one of the newer iPhone models, or even a Google Pixel phone, something that's going to be able to handle multiple applications seamlessly, I would say go ahead and upgrade it, because that is going to be the business in the palm of your hand and you cannot skimp out on that. The last thing you want to happen is to be opening up your phone and having communication with your guests and the app crashes because you don't have enough memory, enough storage space, things like that. So make sure that you invest in your Airbnb business with your smartphone. Now, I've also added an optional 6th bonus tip for running your Airbnb business remotely. Take it with a grain of salt, because here's what happened, okay? You could get a live stream camera for the outside of your home. I think the perimeter of it is great. You can even get a Ring doorbell camera if you'd like. The thing is, it's a little sad to admit, but I actually don't want to know. I would rather not know. In fact, I'm okay with people bringing in more guests than people say that they will bring, as long as they understand that I'm only preparing for the guests that they have mentioned for their Airbnb reservation. So if they say 5, there's going to be like 7 towels. If they bring 10 people, that's on them. The house better look exactly the way it did for the most part as when they arrived, though. That's my only caveat. But I haven't had those issues. I find it unnecessary, in my opinion. I just use ADT and I just keep it pushing, and I burn some sage out when I get back home. That's just what I do. Now that you've watched this video, you've got 5 things that you can use to run your Airbnb remotely and smoothly while you go ahead and enjoy your life. Whether you're managing a VRBO or an Airbnb or a Peerspace, any sort of short-term rental business is going to benefit from these 5 tips. Thanks for watching, and I will see you all next time. Adios. Cuídense, chicos. They need someone that craves flexibility. Yo espero que eso no te pase. All right, let's go.